mean, SYZ trying to secure his third at the moment. Not opting to go for the gold at this point, but nice creep spread here from SYZ. So if those Hellions make it down eliminate the Zergling at that Zelnaga, they can make a pretty much undetected path all the way down to that third and do some serious damage.
And Size was defeated. He said if nobody leaves, he will leave. So, has Goody taken game one?
Guess that'll be up to the admins.
Yeah. That's a shame. That was quite an interesting game.
Now, when the unpause happened, I did see a box come up saying SYZ was lagging the game.
Oh, it was him.
I did. Great. There was one of those dialogue boxes that came up. It wasn't a lag box. It was just a dialogue box.
Oh, that. Oh, okay, I know what you mean. It's where, yeah, it's the slowing the game thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Lag box. Yeah, okay.
That's going to be a tough call for the admins to make. I mean, you know, in that mid game, they're pretty much equal. The drones set back SYZ quite a lot with his third base, so Zerg was in somewhat of a disadvantage. So I don't know if the admins are going to just rule it in Goody's favor because of that.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon.
That first initial push by Goody was pretty cool, man. I want to try that. You know, SCVs combined with Hellions and Marines.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and knew where he could push and not lose too many units, especially exploiting the mineral patches so that the Zerglings couldn't get us around.
Yeah, exactly. Once he got behind that money line, and that's why you'll often see the Zerg players put a building behind their mineral line, because they don't want to do that ring around the rosy garbage. And if the guy does get behind that money line, behind the patches of minerals, they'll often want a building behind there. That way the guy can't run in circles around it. You know what I mean? At least you got him trapped in there, and you can get rid of him. You guys play as Zerg. What do you think?
Can you repeat the question quickly? I was just talking to Brockcom.
What I'm saying is that oftentimes you'll see a Zerg player plant a building behind their mineral line because they don't want to chase the Hellions in circles around the Marines, around the mineral line. Like, that mineral line can become ring around the rosy. Like, you'll never catch the Hellions because they keep running in circles.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, if he went, like, if I was in SYZ shoes and I saw those blue flame, the amount of Hellions he had 8 with the blue flames, I would definitely start thinking, like, usually when I scout Hellions, I have one spine crawler in front or in my base, and I have one behind the mineral line just to stop stuff like that happening. But you see quite a lot of people chucking like an Evo chamber on the far side of the mineral line, like in the SYZ's case on the far right side, so that Hellions cannot go around the back through that Tasis corridor.
Yeah, and they're forced more to go into the middle of your army. They're forced to go on the left side. That way you can bring your queens together, and you can kind of sandwich the guy that way. So, but if you don't do that, then that's what we saw can happen. So what are they gonna do?
Yo, what's Brock all saying, man?
I just said, what is the ruling on the last game? You know, is Goody gonna get the win, or are we rematching? And no reply as of yet, but I'll let you know if he does.
Looks like we got a little bit of downtime while we see what the ruling is on that.
I tried to be greater than the gods, but created my own problem. Now I have deflated all the drama.
So enjoy the music while we wait. What's up?
Yeah, this is sort of destroys the total non-stop action. I'd like to apologize to the viewers of the TV having to endure this silliness at this point. I'd rather watch a game.
I think everybody would rather watch a game, that's for sure.
We will delay the King of the Month. Okay, that's okay. That's something totally different.
We understand you'd rather watch a game than hear us. There's really nothing we can do about it.
I'd rather watch a game too.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch a game than listen to McDuff's myself as well.
Agreed.
So I agree with you.
But I know that Jim prefers the trailer park to games. He just loves that place, doesn't he, Duffs? He's like, yeah, man, let's go.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hydra.
I don't want to play a trailer park at this time. We played them earlier, and I'm not going to continue it. Well, for today anyway. Just trying to figure out what's going on. I guess we could do a replay.
Caster game.
Let's go. Actually, you
See
know what?
Jim versus McDuff's.
No.
Another thing we could do. Well, the thing is, that game isn't very good. Like, why not cast some of the replays from the earlier, from some earlier events, like especially the Intel Extreme Masters, or like some really high-level game.
If you can get me a replay, that'd be cool.
All right, I'll find some from the Intel Extreme Masters event that just took place, and it was basically taken over. In the Intel Extreme Masters, there were 3 Korean players that joined, and by the time we got down to the semifinals, out of the 4 players that were left, guess how many were Korean, guys?
Isn't it just about all of them? If
Yeah,
not all of them?
3 of the 4.
Yeah.
In any
Also,
event,
SYZ
Go
is
ahead.
actually offline, so
Oh,
well,
know,
that'll
that's
solve
not
that
good.
problem.
so
I don't
maybe.
think he's very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame him, can you? I mean, like, I couldn't play in that. I would have done my head in as well.
I was talking to him the other day on Skype, and he was complaining that he's got really bad connection over there in Portugal, so I'm not surprised that if he's got a little bit of rage toward his internet connection.
I think he was determined that he was one of the observers there. So, I mean, we had a full house, didn't we, observers? It was completely
Yeah, it was
that-
full.
It was full, yeah. It's unfortunate, though. Oh, well.
So what was the score before that then? Was it 1-1?
I think it was 0-0.
Yeah,
We just got in.
Oh, right.
that was the
0-0.
first game.
Yeah.
So now we have to sit here and wait.
We could see a repeat of what happened in the Craft Cup where he just goes straight to the final and there's Goody versus Demaga. If he can't fix his internet or if the lag,
And you
or
know,
if he just refuses to play.
if it ends up being Goody versus Demaga, it's going to be Goody versus Demaga and then a Goody versus Demaga, both best of 5.
You know, after all these games we broadcast and all these players we've seen, we're going to see Goody versus Demaga in both. Which would be kind of ironic. But you know what? Actually, they're 2 well-managed, really good players, so, you know, money going to them is probably a good thing.
SYZ is now online. Yay.
Yeah, he's logged in. It looks like he went to the reboot.
All right, maybe that'll fix everything.
We shall see.
Even if he has to start down 1 game, I think it's better they play that out.
That's right.
Although that wasn't looking very good. That Hellion repair trick was quite annoying.
Oh, that was sweet.
I've never seen anything that obnoxious that early.
Did you hear my thing about the Goody autograph T-shirts on sale?
Yeah.
I've never seen a a move like that either. I thought it was pretty cool. Of course, I'm a
If it's-
fan, so
If it's not standard, it will be now.
yeah, really. Well, I'm not sure what's going on. Now, what I want to give you for a replay is the final game, the fifth and final game in a best 3 out of 5 series between Ace and Moon at the Intel Extreme Masters. This game lasted 27 minutes, and the entire event came down to this one and final game.
So I'm just talking to the admin right now, and currently talking about map number 1 to see who gets the win. Just so you guys are updated on what's happening. Okay, so we can only have 2 people from our team, so it'll be me and somebody else.
Senor Gomez has a request to put in the Hellion trick so we could showcase that while we're waiting.
Okay.
Or, it's not a trick, I'm being corrected. It's a very effective tactic.
That was on the last game that happened.
That's right, yeah.
So let's go ahead and speed it up for it.
Yeah, it looked really bad all the way through. I mean, we got down... He was half map, and Zerg didn't know. It wasn't until he was barking at his front door that he started to react to those Zerglings. So it's... I would say that was a scouting fail on SYZ's part. Why that was so effective. Otherwise, he would have had a lot more Zerglings out by the time it arrived. I think it was around minute 6.
Alright, we'll get there. 4 minutes in.
Somebody's just reporting we got 3,000 viewers now.
Alright, well, let's give him a game. Let's give him this Intel Extreme Masters game.
Well, as soon as we get through showcasing this last little game that they're just making a decision on right now, we'll pop into something else if we got the time. But we got a request to see this pretty amazing tactic that Goody just pulled in the last game, which I think is going to end up being the decisive factor, because it would have...
Well, it gave him an advantage, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely put him at an advantage. But he was 1 base behind, but, you know, you're playing Zerg, that's not really...
So we'll go to normal speed here.
So 630 is pushing out halfway down the map.
Yep, I'm on 7 minutes right now as we are behind the mineral
and
line.
SYZ has no overlords anywhere to scout it. And it isn't until those Hellions first come across that creep that he starts with reactionary Zerglings.
The only problem with making this standard is a lot of players like to use 2 spine crawlers, and that would pretty much shut this down.
On this map, you have the added benefit of being able to easily sneak behind that mineral line and just toast those Zerglings and those drones.
Just look how long these Hellions last, man.
There's a little bit of dropship micro here, picking them up, putting them down again.
And this was a King of the Month game that you're watching here, people. I'm going to post all that stuff in the chat. So
cool.
I mean, like I said, you know, for all the complications and permutations, we're going to end up with 2 Goody versus Damaga finals anyway.
Could be that way, but SYZ is back online. So we'll see if SYZ is going to be able to hold his own here. And look at that, those SCVs just gather around that Hellion, repairing it. Then they have to get off. That's quite the good tactic, man. He was able to hold off the...
I would have really hoped to see him put those things into the dropship just as they were dying and move them out. That would have been pretty sexy.